Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janarajana Yashodanandana Vraja Janarajana Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Goranita, Goranitai Jaya Goranita, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Good morning to everyone. Today we will be reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It's chapter number 10 in Adi-lila, titled The Trunk, Branches and Sub-Branches of the Caitanya Tree. Verse number 137. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Yes, so verse 137. Does anybody know in what melody should be like chanted? Okay, I will try with this one. Madhavi Devi Shikim Mahitira Bhagini, Madhavi Devi Shikim Mahitira Bhagini, Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani, Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani, Madhavi Devi Shikim Mahitira Bhagini, Madhavi Devi Shikim Mahitira Bhagini, Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani, Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani.
Madhavi Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini,
Madhavi Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini,
Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani,
Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani.
Madhavi Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini,
Madhavi Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini,
Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Jnana Nama Gani,
Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani.
Ladies.
Madhavi Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini,
Madhavi Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini, Shri Radhara Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani.
Devi Shiki Mahitira Bhagini,
Shri Radhara
Dasi Madhye Yandra Nama Gani. Okay, Madhavi Devi, Madhavi Devi. Shiki Mahitira of Shiki Mahiti. Bhagini, sister. Shri Radhara of Srimati Radharani. Dasi Madhye, amongst the main servants. Yandra, whose. Nama, name. Gani, count. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Madhavi Devi, the 17th of the prominent devotees, was the younger sister of Shiki Mahiti. She is considered to have formerly been a maidservant of Srimati Radharani. Purport. In the Adi-lila of Caitanya Caritamrta, chapter 2, verses 104-106, there is a description of Madhavi Devi. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu considered her one of the maidservants of Srimati Radharani. Within this world, Caitanya Mahaprabhu had 3.5 very confidential devotees. The three were Svarupa Goswami, Sri Ramananda Rai, and Shiki Mahiti. And Shiki Mahiti's sister, Madhavi Devi, being a woman, was considered the half. Thus it is known that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu had 3.5 confidential devotees. Once again, translation. Madhavi Devi, the 17th of the prominent devotees, was the younger sister of Shiki Mahiti. She is considered to have formerly been a maidservant of Srimati Radharani. Amma jnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya manobishtam stapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamahyam dadati swapadantikam. He Krishna karuna sindhu dinabhandhu jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so just to give the context of what we're reading, this is chapter, the trunk, branches and sub-branches of the Caitanya tree. So just like the point that came to my mind, maybe to give a little bit of background, is that Krishna, when he appears in this world, he never comes alone. He's always with his associates. So, in a similar way, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu also, he appeared with all of his associates from Golaka Vrindavan. Everybody knows the story, how Krishna appeared in this world when there was a lot of demons walking on this planet. Lord Brahma, he came to Lord Vishnu with Bhumi Devi in the form of cow, and well, he pleaded to Lord Vishnu to please appear in this world. So Lord Vishnu agreed, and then he gave a request to all of his associates to appear with him in the dynasty of Yadu. So everybody started appearing before, during, after, around the time when where Krishna was appearing. So in the same way, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, he also came with all of his associates. Just like when we can see a king is never alone, he always has his servants, and in the same way, when Lord appears, he always has people around him. Just last week, we've been in Ljubljana, in a temple there, and His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Maharaj gave a beautiful lecture about the art of Krishna consciousness. And he gave this quote of Srila Prabhupada that all those paintings are the windows to the spiritual world. And one little observation that, well, I would make is that whenever you can find any painting that has Krishna or Lord Chaitanya on it, they are never alone. You're never alone. Even if they are alone, like for example, you can see on this painting next to Srila Prabhupada on his left side of Sri Gauranga, there are still animals there. There are still deers. It's always some kind of, at least if Krishna also, whenever he is on illustration, he always has either his associates or at least like a peacock is there. I can give you a dare that you will not find a picture of Krishna alone. Please don't try me.
Picture Radharani alone, but there's a bumblebee.
That's the point.
This Paramatma, it's only atom around this Ishopanishada.
Yeah, it's not Krishna though. That's the point. Yeah, when it comes to Krishna, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, I don't think you will find a picture when they are alone. And also, like when we do the worship of the deities, right? We never worship Krishna alone. And we always have a pair. We always say Shishi Gauritai. We always have Shishi Radha Shyam Sundar, Shishi Krishna Balaram. And actually sometimes we have multiple personalities. Like in Mayapur we go and you see Radha Madhava with 8 Sakis, 10 personalities on one altar. That's a lot. So that's just the point that I tried to make. And here Srila Prabhupada gives a reference to other verses that I thought that we might read about Madhavi Devi. So those are verses 104, 106 and Adi-lila. So let me just read those, just the translations, because actually those verses, they don't have the purport. So, Shiki Mahiti's sister was named Madhavi Devi. She was an elderly lady who always performed austerities. She was very advanced in devotional service. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted her as having formerly been an associate of Srimati Radharani. In the entire world, 3.5 people were his intimate devotees. The 3 were Svarupa Damodar Goswami, Ramananda Rai, and Shiki Mahiti, and the half a person was Shiki Mahiti's sister. So those are the verses that Srila Prabhupada gives the reference that we kind of understand a little bit more about Madhavi Devi. The topic that I would like to then next talk about is confidential devotees. This is like a word that's being used very often actually in Krishna consciousness in regard to some topics, confidential topics, elevated topics. And one may say that, at least the question that always were appearing in my head whenever I heard those kind of statements was like, why would Krishna hide anything from us? What does he have to hide? That we have those confidential topics regarding his life, right? It's like what's up with that? Does anybody have any idea why? I mean, I have an idea, but maybe somebody else can share their thoughts.
We are in material world and we will not be able to understand this.
Yeah, so that's a nice argument that you say that those topics are very complex and therefore we don't have the capacity to understand them and that's why they are private. Yeah, that's a very good point. Does anybody else have anything else to add?
Actually not confidential, but to us they are because we cannot reach them yet. So
That's also a very good point. Like anybody can make a Google search and he can put intimate leelas of Radha and Krishna and you may find a lot of results and you may read them all and it's all available, right? It is, right? It's not like it's like some kind of a hidden thing where you have to go to one mountain take one book and it's like hidden in a chest. It's available to all, but still they are considered confidential, right? Because we don't have the capacity to understand them. Yes, Mrikendra?
Well, I'd say that these pastimes and information, you could say, that's contained in them is only available to those who have the standard of devotion that is needed to operate on that level. And why is that standard of devotion confidential? Because one who has that standard of devotion can control Krishna.
Well, that's a deep point there. But it also refers to the point of our adhikar, of our spiritual qualification to hear about the subjects. Okay, so if I continue.
So we to develop a strong urge to find out about it. Or if everything is known to us, revealed, then it's no fun.
Yeah, to develop some kind of greed.
Some secrecy.
Yeah.
Like hidden treasure or something.
Yeah. Then it becomes, when something is hidden, it becomes more attractive, right? And everybody can feel that. That's
more respect.
give more respect. Exactly. Yeah. My thought about it, and that I at least stumbled upon also in the writings of our acharyas, is that it comes like from a kind of a different perspective. Is that, well, Lord Krishna is a supreme person, and just like we have the right to privacy, why wouldn't Lord Krishna have his private life, right? It's like just like when you want to build a relationship with somebody. I may, for example, see you for the first time in my life, and I will come up to you and I will say, "What's your deepest secret? Tell me now." And of course, you're going to be taken aback. You're going to be like, hey, hold up. Who are you? Like, why are you asking me those kind of things? Just get away. So in the same way, in the process of bhakti, what we're trying to do is we're trying to establish a relationship with Krishna, right? So in the same way, we have to make it gradual. So for example, when we want to make like a mundane, if we want to establish a mundane relationship with another human being, well, we kind of ask him, okay, what's your name? What's your occupation? How are you doing? How are you feeling? What are you doing in life? We may go out for a coffee with him. We may talk about some kind of widely available things. Then we may ask him, okay, what's on your mind? And in this kind of way, the relationship, it progresses. So when we know a person for a couple of years, and when we have this kind of a deep relationship with each other, and then we can ask him, okay, what's your deepest secret? And then the person that we're trying to establish this relationship with, then he may be inclined or she may be inclined to respond to that, right? So therefore we have to get to know each other. We have to get to know the fact that, we have to test the trustworthiness of this person, right? You will not tell your secret to a person that's not trustworthy. So in a similar way, this, I think, also applies to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why at the beginning, our acharyas write that Krishna appears first exactly as in his mood of opulence to us. And also because at the beginning also the process of worshipping the deity is very much stressed upon. So, and the process of worshipping deity, well, we worship, like for example, when we have Radha Krishna, right, on the altar, we worship in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. So it's full of reverence, it's full of opulence. We try to make sure the offerings are on time. We come to the temple, what we do, we bow down straight on the floor. Right, so this is the mood of reverence that we're trying to establish first. So first what we're trying to do is actually gain some respect, right? Because the fact is that we don't have so much knowledge about Krishna. So first we try to gain some respect to the fact that in fact he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? It's even the title itself, it's huge, right? It makes you want to bow down immediately. So yeah, that's the kind of thinking, the point about the relationships, and also like we can transpose it to our devotee world, in which yesterday one devotee was telling me how this movement is a movement of personal relationships. So of course our main focus is Krishna, but also Vaishnavas who try to give us Krishna, who try to reveal Krishna to us. So therefore, first actually, what we have to do, just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we have to find a guru, we have to find our mentor, we have to find our spiritual guidance, and then we're trying to establish relationship with him first. And then we can think about establishing relationship with Krishna. That's how it goes. So Krishna made all this arrangement. Also, I would like to tell you my favorite story right now from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. That kind of gives a little bit of flavor to this topic about being intimate or being a little bit distanced. So, as we all know, Advaita Acharya, he was he's a member of the Panchatattva, right? And the thing is that he was senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was senior by age, right? He was senior also by the fact that, he was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was a god brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru, Ishvara Puri. Right? He was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, I believe. I didn't cross-check it before, so that's why I'm asking you. But definitely, you're not sure. Anyway, there was a very much a seniority involved there in the relationship, and therefore in the Vedic culture, this seniority is very much respected. So when we see somebody that's more advanced than us, that's older than us, then we always, doesn't matter what our own qualifications are, we always we act very humble around them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, being the perfect example of devotee, he was also always very respectful to Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya, knowing the fact that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he felt uncomfortable. He felt uncomfortable with the fact how much respect Mahaprabhu has for him. And he wanted to change that. He felt like, no, it's like I have to get some kind of chastisement from Mahaprabhu, and then it's like it's gonna be much better. Then it's gonna be my real position. I'm gonna feel like I'm in my real position. So he devised the plan, and this plan was quite amazing. So he knew how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict on Siddhanta, on all the proper understanding of bhakti, and actually the superiority of bhakti over everything else. So, because Advaita Acharya, he was a Brahmana, he had his own school in New Shantipur. So he started teaching in this school that Gyan, which is cultivation of knowledge, is much more important for us than bhakti, cultivation of devotion. So he was preaching it around, that yes, Gyan, that's the thing, bhakti, not so much. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard it somehow, because the news, they spread very fast. And he became very angry. He took Lord Nityananda with himself. and they swam through the Ganges river to Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya was there. He just came to him into the room and he just started slapping him. And, of course, Advaita Acharya, when he felt those slaps, he felt immediate transcendental ecstasy. He was like, finally, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is superior to me, and finally he's showing this. No signs of respect, just slaps. And in the meantime, I believe in the background Haridas Thakur was there, and Lord Nityananda, who was dancing. So that was quite a scene. That shows all the different rasas that are there in Caitanya Charitamrta. Just the point that to illustrate like this fact of kind of having a mood, a proper relationship with Mahaprabhu. In the purport also, Srila Prabhupada he enumerates because Madhavi Devi, she was it is said a half of a confidential devotee, and the other three were Svarupa Damodar, who was a personal assistant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Ramananda Rai, and Shiki Mahiti. So I'm just reading Caitanya Charitamrta, and actually I'm in Adi-lila. So I know the background of Ramananda Rai, how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they met together on the bank of the river Godavari, and actually it was by the recommendation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, which he met in Jagannath Puri, who was serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And basically, when Lord Chaitanya he went on his journey to South India, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said to him, "Well, Mahaprabhu, you can go, but you have to meet this one devotee, because you're gonna be very happy to meet him." So Mahaprabhu he listened to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and he met with him, and that devotee was Sri Ramananda Rai. And there, in this one chapter, it is described how they met on the bank. That Ramananda Rai he was a government official, so he had a very opulent attire and everything. And when they met, they immediately embraced each other, immediately, no kind of formalities. And so that's the confidentiality, right? And we all know in this one chapter there was a conversation that concerned prayojana, which is the ultimate goal of our lives, of our spiritual life. So they were discussing those confidential topics, and it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful. Right, when you read those kind of things, it's very auspicious, and you can see how much love actually is being shared between the Lord and his devotees. I would like to address though the elephant in the room. So the elephant in the room is that Madhavi Devi was considered a half of a devotee. And I was thinking about it, what does it mean? What does it mean that Madhavi Devi was a half of a devotee? Let's see. Does anybody have any theory? Because I have the answer. I came prepared. Does anybody here can share any thoughts about it? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had 3.5 devotees, and this half, she was a woman. Being a woman, Srila Prabhupada writes, she was considered the half. Okay, so can anybody share any thoughts? Maybe some theory.
Sannyasi, and any woman cannot come near. This means that this associates was very near, and she was a little bit half.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Not so much near.
Yeah, half, just half. Wow, that's, yeah, when somebody's married, the woman is a better half. Yeah, that's a good thing, yeah.
Okay, women and children are considered less intelligent than men.
Okay, women and children are considered less intelligent.
It is better than early Christians. They said 0, like no soul.
No soul.
No. Yeah. Actually, in the Middle Ages, it was considered that the child is like a mini human that has no soul, and then he has to go through the process of like becoming a man, right? He becomes a man, and then he gets a soul. Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking about it, and I asked some devotees, and also because yesterday also we went and we had a beautiful opportunity to associate with Krishna Kshetra Maharaj again. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask him this question. So I went to Maharaj for a little darshan, and I asked him the question, like, why was Madhavi Devi considered the half? Why is it that? So yeah, he gave an answer. He didn't hesitate much. So basically, the answer is like Devashri Narada Prabhu said. The point is about the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was a very strict sannyasi, right? So the thing is that Maharaj also said that, well, sannyas ashram is basically you commit a social suicide. So you abandon all the relationships that you have, and especially with women. You try to never be around them, basically. Of course, sannyasis right now, most of them, they are in a position of guru, so they accept female disciples, but it's also like, just like we were talking about, the difference between this mood of being like intimate, like reverential, and also in this case, there's a little bit of distance, right? There's a little bit of distance to being a woman. And actually, Madhavi Devi, she was another lila time. Basically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in this world to showcase us how a perfect devotee looks like. And he was very strict. He was even though he is considered to be the most magnanimous avatar of Krishna, the most magnanimous form of Krishna, still there is one story that for devotees it's very perplexing to hear this story. And this story is about Chota Haridas. And it's like when devotees, they hear about this story, they go like, oh, maybe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not so merciful after all, And basically, Madhavi Devi, she was actually in this story. She was a participant. I didn't know that before. So, just to give you an overview, what happened was that basically one devotee sent Chota Haridas, who was of course an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chota Haridas, he was a great singer. He would always lead kirtan around Mahaprabhu. And basically this one devotee said to him that you should arrange for some rice, so for some prasadam to make for Mahaprabhu. So he did, and he did it by begging, because he was also in a renounced order of life. When you're in a renounced order of life, you don't do any kind of a job. You go from door to door and you beg for food and to sustain yourself like this. So he went and he begged for this rice to our hero of this verse, Madhavi Devi. And of course she was an elderly lady, right? So he came, and of course she provided him with the needed rice, and of course devotees made the preparation for Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, "Wow, perfect! What a great preparation you made! It's very tasty. I just have a question, who arranged for this rice?" And devotees said, well, Chota Haridas arranged for this rice. Okay, but how did he arrange for this rice? Oh yeah, he went to beg from Madhavi Devi, And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thought for a while, and immediately he said to devotees, let Chota Haridas know that he may never come in front of me ever again. Devotees were stunned. They were shocked. They didn't know how to react. They were like, but Mahaprabhu, like Madhavi Devi, she's a devotee, she's an elderly woman, why are you like this? And but he was unbent on that. He was like, no, there's no way I will ever accept him back. This is like it makes my blood boil when I think about the fact that when somebody is being renunciant and then he has some kind of a relationship with the woman. This is very bad. This is like so yeah, that's what happened. Even though devotees were pleading to Mahaprabhu a lot, like please to accept Chota Haridas back, he didn't listen. He didn't listen to them. So what happened afterwards was that Chota Haridas, he committed suicide, and in the place where two rivers meet, Yamuna and Ganges, and but there is like a positive spin to that, because well, Chota Haridas, he was a pure devotee after all. So after he left his body in this kind of dramatic way, he was still singing, like, and as a spiritual form. He was following Mahaprabhu, and he was still singing for him. So that's the story where Madhavi Devi she was a part of. Maybe just to conclude, give some kind of a positive spin on that. There are like those confidential things. Our goal, I believe, in Krishna consciousness is to become a confidential devotee also. And we have to be very patient. Just like in Caitanya, it is said that like those three things, that being determined, being patient, and enthusiastic, right? Those three things, the three qualities of aspiring devotees to always have, and then one day, we should have this kind of eagerness, just like Vaikuntha Murti Prabhu said. We should have this kind of greed that one day we will have sufficient qualification to hear about the confidential topics concerning Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha and Krishna, who are non-different than Mahaprabhu. Okay, I think that's it. If anybody has any questions, comments, something like that. Yes, Prabhu?
A few verses before, it said that, we also discussed here, that it was younger lady who was give this rice to Chota Haridas. But later verses in Caitanya Caritamrta we know that it was not young. You also said that it was not young.
Yeah.
Maybe do you know something about this?
Mm-hmm.
It's a couple, I don't know, it's Lumach that was giving her.
Do you remember maybe which verse it was?
Some of this previous, but anyway, if it's not now, easy for find. In Bhagavad Gita also. But in other places, in Caritamrta, they explain that it was not like it was all.
Yeah.
I heard from someone that actually he begged from elderly woman, but a young one was next to her.
Giving to all.
I don't know. I just heard. I don't know where from.
Yeah, the details they may differ. Just like there are two biographies of Chaitanya. I mean, I think maybe there are more actually, but the two most prominent biographies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and of course Chaitanya Charitamrta, and also you may find some discrepancies between the different versions of the stories. The most important thing for reading those scriptures is that, well, the essence is still there. It doesn't, like, the fact whether she was young or old, maybe not so much important, because it teaches us a lesson, right? That's the essence.
Maybe you should first define what is young, what is old.
Shishigonitai ki jai.
Some age.
Yeah, that's a.
Prabhupada means old means nearing death is old age.
Oh, really?
Everyone is old, nearing death.
Okay.
So you see that. But same stories, depends who is describing, same thing that wherever we see. They have different views. But both are right. If somebody is
The point where you look at things depends on where you stand, right? For age is a very relative thing, right? So, Markandeya Rishi Prabhu, maybe, yes.
Thank you. Can I just ask who mentioned, or where is it mentioned that it was actually Madhavi Devi? Or that she was somewhere near?
Yeah, it is mentioned in the chapter 2 of Adi-lila, and it's in a chapter called the chastisement of Junior Haridas. So then a description of the story, how it goes. So basically, basically, those verses that I just referenced, and that are referenced in this verse that we were reading right now. So those are verses 104 and 106, and they describe Madhavi Devi. And then the next verse, number 107, describes the fact after begging the rice from her, Junior Haridas brought it to Bhagavanacharya, who was very pleased to see its quality. So in the next verse, like, you have a description of Madhavi Devi, and then in the next verse it is said how Junior Haridas, that she was the one that after begging the rice from her.
I guess then it's not mine. I don't remember explicitly that it was her.
Yeah. It's in a verse like straight after the referenced verses. It was Madhavi Devi. Yes.
Is that also in Prabhupada's lila, Prabhupada pastimes?
Yes.
And the what is there in Prabhupada biography, some of the what is there was there. For example, they don't agree what happened because there was present there. But this was, but who described was maybe different than what he described. How he saw this pastime different, the same pastime.
Yeah. It's Exactly. So there's always a different perspective, right? Everybody's an individual. Also, like I was just thinking about Junior Haridas, and also when it comes to Prabhupada's pastimes, we have this example of Vishnujan Swami, right? He was an amazing devotee, like also a Caitanya, also like great at singing, and he did so much service to Srila Prabhupada. And then one day, it is described by also devotees' recollections that, well, he had a talk with his ex-wife, right, somewhere, and then he asked during morning walk with Srila Prabhupada, he asked him, like, what should the sannyasi do, like, in this kind of situation, and then Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, he should commit suicide, just like Junior Hari does. But the problem was that Vishnu Swami, he didn't hear the rest of the answer because, well, there was a lot of people around Prabhupada, and but Srila Prabhupada has elaborated on that well, actually in Kali Yuga, right now it's like it's maybe that you don't, like. No, it wasn't a personal instruction because the question was framed like generally, what should sannyasi do? But he basically said that, like, it's like suicide doesn't take any place. Like right now, we shouldn't take any place. Doesn't matter how fallen we are, what kind of fallen sannyasis have, or something like that. That it's not a viable method of absolving yourself of sin. That was Srila Prabhupada's perspective.
Is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can reject. But I'm not Supreme Personality of Godhead, I need all of you. To help me through this movement.
Yeah.
I can't reject you.
Exactly, so, So it's a beautiful point that actually Vaishnavas, they are the gateway to have a relationship with Krishna, right? Just like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains in his bhajan of Vaishnav Thakura, how he's simply running behind a Vaishnav, screaming Krishna, Krishna, hoping to get Krishna, because Vaishnava has Krishna, so he can give it to you. That's the point. Okay, is that everything? Okay, then Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki, Shri Gaura Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Go Brahmanande, Hari 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 Bol.